Basically, we are 7 people in the band, and each of us is taking his influence from a variety of different things. And we are not always stick together when it comes to music influences. So
No.
obviously we have the traditionally Middle Eastern, what you hear on the radio and primetime TV music kind of style, which
Mm-hmm.
is the symphonic Middle Eastern style, which takes a little bit from Arabic Oriental orchestra, and a little bit of the Greek. And this is
Ooh.
like what Israeli traditional music is about. I'm a big fan of everything coming from the 70s and the 80s. It's there either is like 80s pop or 80s rock, and
Mm-hmm.
if it's 70s, and I'm really much into any of the early days psychedelics.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very much into David Bowie, Lou Reed, and Led
Mm-hmm.
Zeppelin. And at
Oh,
the same
listen.
time, I like American hard rock and alternative rock like Foo Fighters and Muse, and I'm a huge fan of Radiohead.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, take all this together, and you
Mm-hmm.
get what is my part of the music. Like I bring everything which I say pretty much. It's basically
Yeah, he
everything. Yeah,
covered everything,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Aside of classical music, I'm very much into everything. Shai, the keyboard player, is very much into psychedelic electronic music like Sprongel and Simon Crawford and ODT, which is like the electronic style, which has a little bit of live instruments going inside, and is
Mm-hmm.
becoming slowly like a huge synthesizer freaks. Is the one that's buying all the analog modules and use it in our music.
Mm-hmm.
Vidi has his own influences. He can go ahead and share.
I just like everything that is weird, like that surprises me. Like if I hear something that I wasn't ready to listen to, like to know that it's going to come, then I really enjoy it. On the other hand, I really enjoy nostalgic music. I really love Scott Walker. I think he's amazing. Um, this is like, and I love like Italian pop, and I love many like old Israeli stuff that sounds a little bit like Italian pop. Besides all the influences that Tomer speaks about, that I feel that are a part of me as well. So this is on one hand. On the other hand, I really like the dark stuff, like Nick Cave, and I really enjoyed Tom Waits' evolution during the years, especially from the middle of the 80s. Um, Anything from California in the 80s, like any weird band like Idiot Flesh, of course, Mr. Bungle, stuff like that. These are bands that I really enjoy and find my own like self-definition within their work.
We mix it all together. So basically, it's most of the songs start with me. I usually write my music on acoustic guitar, sitting in the garden. This is what I like, and it basically the demos, the early stage of the demos is like autobiography. It's how I feel at the exact moment I'm writing the music. And the influences of the music I listen to at that moment in time. So my main goal for writing music is just write what you feel is you, and it's touching me and inspire me and sounds good the day after. Not all of the music is sounding good the day after, but the songs that does sound good the day after I usually get developed a little bit, and then I send it to the band members. And once the band members get it, either it's Vidi that's writing the lyrics and all the melodies for the vocals, or Shai that's writing the strings arrangements, and even Matan Shmueli, they do the drums, he wrote some of the beats. and he has some ideas, and then we start develop the music together. So, and each, like I said before, every one of us, he brings his own signature and his own style, and we try to be open for all the influences from everybody.
Yeah.
So this is eventually how it goes until it reaches the production. Okay, we have a kind of an extensive pre-production period, and then when we reach the production, then we have everything already prepared, and we know what we're going to record, and everything already lined up, because otherwise it's going to be a mess. We have so many stuff, like so much stuff going on all the time, that if it's not well prepared ahead of time, then it's going to be hectic to mix everything so it sounds complete and makes sense.
I think this time, like I'm the new guy. I'm coming from the outside. So far, there were other singers before me, so I can. It's like half objective, half subjective, like the way that I'm gonna answer. I think that what we were trying to do with Mountain Fever was to create something that is very rich, but on the other hand, very accessible. We wanted people to be able to listen to very complex music, but at the same time, when the song is done, that they have something like stuck in their heads, like melodies. But more than that, we really wanted to create something that will get into people's hearts. So it was, we're making progressive music, but we really wanted it to still be somehow friendly to anyone that comes in and listens to it. And the most important thing for us was to be able to capture on recordings the energy of the band when we are together, when we're trying to elevate each other, and we want to elevate the gathering of the audience that we meet on the road. And it was very important for us to create something that someone can hear and just be able to feel all the colors that we have to suggest as human beings to other human beings. That was the main goal. I think we just really want people, I know it sounds cheesy, but we just really want people to be happy.
Yeah.
Like it when we're doing the live shows, it really makes sense to us that we are so grateful for what we're doing at that moment, that we're able to play music and to play music for people, that it's important for us that people can join in and feel what we feel, or that we can feel what they feel. It's very important to us.
I love mountains. I live on a mountain, not a very big one, comparing to what you see everywhere in Europe, but a tiny mountain. It's enough for me. And this whole album was written on a mountain. In fact, the previous two Subterranean Masquerade albums were also written on a mountain, but in India. And this time around, I've wrote all the songs in my home in Israel. And it's my home. So this is the reason why I thought it's going to be a good working title, The Mountain Fever.
Yeah.
And thankfully everybody in the band they liked it, and it was the title.
When we wrote the song, like when we started writing the lyrics, we didn't know it's going to be Mountain Fever. I actually thought that Mountain Fever is only going to be the title of the album. But then something in the music of this track number 3, when I heard it, and I had to write the melodies and the lyrics for it, it made sense. It made sense. So there was not like a premeditated thinking about, okay, we're gonna have a song named Mountain Fever, but it just happened. It made sense because it sounded to me like a fever. I think it is within what Tomer said before about the music being some sort of autobiography. And I think that what we're trying to do is to create a very broad but accurate self-portrait of our story. And on one hand, we are in the Middle East. We were born here. We have the Mediterranean influences, like the Arabic orchestras or the Greek music, like the bouzouki. But on the other hand, our grandparents are from East Europe, are Jewish people from East Europe. So it comes down like to our identity as well. And I think that this is why it's happening. It's not on purpose. It's just like the stuff that we were born into is a mashup of cultures. It's like a kitchen with a lot of different flavors. And all of these flavors are who we are. So when we are writing music, we're not thinking about, oh, this belongs here, this belongs there, because for us, this is part of our identity. We are all of these places, where all of the cultures. And I think this is why also klezmer music, I can speak for myself, but I find it very spiritual and uplifting. And I think that this is an influence that we wanted to have in our metal music.
I fell in love with the sound of the clarinet many years ago. I used to do front of stage sound. I used to do it like a sound engineer. And I used to do big klezmer festivals every year. And with artists playing mostly the clarinet, but also some flutes, coming from all over Europe. And they always look like taken out from one of those Eastern Europe 70s or 60s movies with the head and the flute and when they talk, it's like a Woody Allen, but with a clarinet. And I fell in love with it because they were so simple and so humble and so polite, but when they played, you could feel it's something that is spiritual for them. I mean, the clarinet is one of those instruments that is like maybe the sitar from the Hindu. It's a window for prayer. It's the sound that it's a sound you hear when you want to sing a Hasidic hymn or any Jewish prayer. And I think if you mix a dark vibe, then the contrast and how harmonic it is and how much range a clarinet and a brass and a proper brass section can get, it's amazing. And by no means, once you mix clarinet and the beat is like tum-pat, 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 tum, then it's already klezmer. You cannot get away from it.
No,
and if you're from Israel, then it's very easy. Klezmer, it's a part of who we are. It's a part of our tradition, but it's also mixed really great with music. And one of my biggest inspiration is a singer named Joe Henry. I don't know if any of you, if you know him, but you probably would like it, Vidi. He sounds very much like Tom Waits, but it's going to sound like the latest album by Johnny Cash, like it's very, very dark country, and he mixes clarinet in a way that's going to make you cry.
I'm writing it down.
Once I heard this one many years ago, I decided I'm going to mix brass section in every album, and we did an extensive brass section in every album we did. And it's great to mix it. I love it.